one thing in a movie, and they said there are some fates worse than death. That's got to be some movie, and it couldn't have been from a good guy. But being thrown in jail and ate by a zombie. If I didn't get thrown in jail and ate by a zombie, what would be worse than that happening? Getting eaten alive without knowing you're already in a jail. Because a zombie would eat you from the outside in. If you got ate from the inside out, and what if a jail was anywhere that you look, you never felt free, and mentally, it could be debilitating, where if you go through, anything you see is would be like a cage. So I'm looking at this pole right here, and it's just a cage. I'm going to walk past the pole, and I'm not entrapped by the pole. But now, since I did pass the pole, I look to the next closest thing, and the next closest thing would be these railroads, and these railroads go all the way down there. So now, in my mind, until I'm all the way down there, I'm in a jail cell. That sounds ridiculous, but this is probably what would be, autism, but I think that everyone has autism to a degree. But what if it was to the same degree? I'm not getting ate by inside out, but let's say if I were, it would be no different than those two factions that I just explained to you. It sounds ridiculous, but so does getting eaten from the inside out. And that as far off as that sound, those two things, my argument would be worse than getting locked in a jail cell and ate by a zombie. So you can only imagine how hard it is to conceive what I just said if it were the case. And one thing I think is important to portray is that the Jacob's Ladder and the Pandora's Box, stuff like that, is going to be what you're going to need to see for some bread. Luckily I didn't throw that there, but if I did throw that there, I'd be subject to littering, and that's something that could happen to anyone, and then you can be thrown in jail and ate by a zombie. And it has to do with rag dolls, obviously, because you would be a rag doll just going in between fixtures and structures. But more importantly, when the fly or mosquito lands on you, that would be encompassing the idealism of cookie cutter. Cookie cutter is a thing that resembles like a cookie cutter apartment or complex or neighborhood where everything looks the same. Like in the movie Edward Scissorhands, where the neighborhood is everything looks the same. That's just pure communism, and it would seem like a jail cell everywhere if that were the case. And that is the case in some cases, but nevertheless, if that's what's going on, the character I'm making up is Gum Shooter, where he is partial ragdoll, and he's trying to overcompensate the cookie cutter. Just as we're humans battling to not have sin, you have to tip your hat to what we have come up with. Androids, droids, and cyborgs are both degrees of artificial intelligence, not having a soul, partial soul if you're half and half, and then the other is other. There's three of them, I don't know, but Gum Shooter is on the other side of the spectrum. He's of a doll, and he's like Pinocchio. He was trying to be a real boy, more in the lines of Pinocchio, and That has to be with like how the earth is an entity, the stock market is an entity, judicial system is real. You could say real or not, because before it was made up it wasn't, which actually might be the key faction and one of the constituents and why they're trying to make the creation proposal stories actual, because in order to be real you have to say a beginning. So in that case, what I was just saying about the judicial system isn't real. One of the things it takes to being real is to have the beginning. Where if the evil wins in any story, if the evil wins and then it gets to say to the good thing that made it, don't you regret making me evil? Because I tricked everything in between to thinking that it isn't good. Therefore, I'm the best bad thing and you were wrong for having made evil a thing. So then between evil and good is neutral, and that's what the plane where you have to understand the dolls, the robots, and humans' flesh are all playing with. And you can look that at as like the four forces, how you need to actually like understand how these are thresh points, bookmarkers, paperweights, of which you like angle off logistics of those three races and to understand soul, what a soul is.